Good morning, students. Today we are going to see the topic is from semiconductors. So today we are going to discuss about the introduction to the semiconductors. The targeted students are from the Naval Arc Department, Petroleum Department, and Mechanical Department. They belongs to first year, second semester. So myself, Dr. S. Rafi Ahmad, Associate Professor, Department of Physics from Amet University, Chennai. So today let we see the semiconducting materials. Semiconducting materials are the materials whose electrical conductivity should be lies in between the conductor and the insulator. It is in the order of 10 power minus 4 to 0.5 ohm meter. So here we defined that the semiconducting materials are the material whose resistivity or conductivity we can define in terms of a resistivity, or we can define in terms of a resistivity. So the resistivity or the conductivity of the material should be lies in between the insulator and the conductor. It means that when there is no temperature is applied to the material, then that time the material behaves as an insulator. When we subject the temperature, when the temperature reaches the maximum, at that time the material converts into the conductor. So that's why we are saying that material whose electrical resistivity or electrical conductivity which lies in between the insulator and the conductor is called semiconducting material. So here we have given the order. It is in the order of 10 power minus 4 to 0.5 ohm meter. As we all know that it is a special class of material, very smaller in size, sensitive to heat and electricity. The most commonly used semiconducting materials are germanium and silicon. The general property of semiconductors. See this semiconducting material. For example, we can consider a silicon. So with the help of the silicon, we are going to define the what is semiconductor. So what are the characteristics of the semiconductor, or what the properties of the semiconductor? Here, the first property is they are formed by the covalent bond. So it means that there is no free electron availability in the semiconducting material when temperature is zero. When the temperature is not applied to the semiconducting material, under the assumption all the electrons are in the valency band. That's why the valency band electrons are called the valence electron. The conduction band is empty. The conduction band empty, that's why we are writing no free electron. So when the electrons are not available freely in the medium, then the electrons are in the covalent bond. So with this, they are formed by the covalent bond. They have an empty conduction band. They have almost filled valency band. They have a small energy gap in the order of 1 electron volt. They possess crystal structure. They have negative temperature coefficient of resistance. Here, the important property of semiconductor is the negative temperature coefficient of resistance. It means that when the temperature is very low, the medium behaves as an insulator. When the temperature is very high, then the medium converts into the conductor. So this is the meaning for this negative temperature coefficient of resistance. We have given the expansion. If the impurity are added to the semiconductor, its electrical conductivity increases. So the addition of impurity will increase the conductivity of the material. So one thing we have to be just know in this lecture, for a pure semiconducting material, we get only less conduction, but for the impure semiconducting material, we get more conduction. It means that by adding the impurity, on addition of the impurity, on doping mechanism, we can increase the conductivity or we can increase the efficiency of the material than the pure platform. So this the expansion for that. Classification of semiconductors. Classification means types. Here the semiconductors are broadly classified into two types based on the composition of materials, that is based on the addition of the impurities. The first classification is elemental semiconductors. The second classification is compound semiconductors. What is elemental semiconductors and what is compound semiconductors? Let's see the first one, elemental semiconductors. Elemental semiconductor, elemental means single. So the elemental semiconductors are made from the single element of fourth group elements. They are also known as indirect band gap semiconductors. In short form, we have written as IBG. The two well-known intrinsic semiconductors here, elemental semiconductors are the pure semiconductors. The elemental semiconductors are also called as intrinsic semiconductors. So for intrinsic, for elemental, for pure, we can consider silicon and germanium as an example. The indirect band gap semiconductor, that is elemental semiconductor, are not used for manufacturing the optical sources. The second type is the compound semiconductor. Semiconductors which are formed by the combination of more than one element. Here in elemental semiconductor, we have taken only a single element, but for the compound semiconductors, we are considering the material which is made up of more than one element. So here, to make this compound semiconductor, we are just combining the third and fifth group elements, or we can consider second and sixth group elements in the periodic table. So the compound semiconductors are made by the combination of a third and the fifth group elements, are made by the combination of a second and a sixth group elements in the periodic table. These compound semiconductors are known as direct band gap semiconductors. These direct band gap semiconductors are the base or an important material or just a good platform for to manufacture the optical sources. So here, as I already said that the pure platform does not use more conductivity, but the impure platform produces more conductivity. Here the compound semiconductor is more than one element. So we are adding an addition atom over the slab. It's called just impure. So here the impure semiconductor are the base for the manufacturing of the optical sources. So here we have shown the just a comparison between the elemental and the compound through the structure. So this elemental is nothing but an indirect band gap semiconductor. The compound is nothing but a direct band gap semiconductor. So here we are having the direct band gap, that is a compound. Here we are having an indirect, that is an elemental. So we can see the variation between these two, how the just energy is transfers from the energy and the higher end to the lower end, and how the light, that is optical emission, is taking place through this medium. The next one is the types of the semiconductor. So we are discussing only the types. That's in the form of a classification. But here, that elemental is called as an intrinsic, as we all know that, or a pure. The compound, it's called as an extrinsic or an impure or a doped semiconductor. So we have to just learn this intrinsic and the extrinsic semiconductor to to study the conductivity of the material. So intrinsic semiconductor means extremely pure form of a semiconductor material without any addition of impurities. Extrinsic semiconductors means the material with the addition of an impurity. So here without any impurity is added, only a single medium, example germanium or no silicon. But here we have to just dope the impurity. So the example we can say germanium, gallium, or we can say that germanium, arsenic, the single element, more than one element. So the addition of impurity, it's called extrinsic semiconductor. The extrinsic semiconductor are further classified into two types based on the addition of impurities: N-type semiconductor and a P-type semiconductor. N-type semiconductor means donor impurity semiconductor. P-type semiconductor means acceptor impurity semiconductor. Here in N-type, donor means we are having the electron concentration more and compared to the whole concentration. In P-type, acceptor means we are having the whole concentration more than electron concentration. So that's why we are just distinguishing the addition of impurities here into two. One as a N-type, donor impurity, the other one as a P-type, acceptor impurity. So let's see what is the N-type semiconductor. As we already said that semiconducting materials are classified into two types based on the addition of impurity. If there is no impurity is added to the semiconducting material, then the conductivity will be very less. So we have to add the impurity over the semiconducting material to increase the semiconducting property, to increase the conductivity value. So the addition of impurity here classified into two types, N-type and the P-type. In N-type, we are getting just donor impurities level more. In P-type, we are going to get the acceptor impurities level more. Let's see the first one, N-type semiconductor. When pentavalent impurity atom, here for example, I have considered an arsenic. As we know that arsenic element contains 5 outermost valence electron. So that's why we are just calling this as a pentavalent atom. Penta means a 5 electron. So 5 electrons are in the outermost orbit. We can calculate here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when this pentavalent impurity atom is added with the tetravalent atom. So tetravalent atom is nothing but a silicon. So silicon is a pure platform. So over the pure material, we are going to add an impurity. We are going to dope an impurity. When we dope the impurity over the pure platform, the structure of the pure semiconductor will changes. So an impurity concentration changes the property of the pure semiconducting material. So when the pure semiconducting material property changes to an impure semiconducting property, then the semiconducting property will more. Also, the conductivity of the value is very, very high. So when a pentavalent impurity atom such as arsenic, here I have highlighted the example arsenic. We have taken an arsenic as an impurity. For arsenic, the outermost valence electron is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When pentavalent impurity arsenic is added to the pure semiconductor. Pure semiconductor is in the germanium or in the silicon. We have taken here silicon. The silicon consisting of outermost 4 electrons. So when we dope this 5 valence outermost electron over this 4 valence electron, we get 1 excess electron. That is, this electron is nothing but an addition or just impure electron, donor electron. So this donor electron is an additional level in the energy level diagram. As we know, for the pure semiconducting material, we have only 2 energy level. One is valency level and another one is the conduction level. In addition to these 2 energy level, during the this doping process, we are getting on excess electron. This excess electron is located near to the conduction band because this is an electron level. So we have to construct an energy level which is near to the conduction band. So when just the dopant is introduced in the semiconductor, when the medium is converted into the n-type semiconductor, so instead of a two energy level, we have to construct a three energy level: valency band, conduction band, and the donor energy level. When a T is equal to 0, when the temperature is not applied to the semiconducting material, all the electrons are available in the valency state. As you can see that there is no free electrons other than these additional electrons. So all the electrons are in the covalent bonding. Covalent bonding. So the valency state is completely filled with the electron. There is no just a conduction electron. So the conduction band is empty. There is no free electron. So the conduction band is empty. So the addition of impurity creates one additional impure electron near to the conduction band. So we have to construct an additional level. That level is called as donor energy level. In the donor energy level, we are having the donor electrons. Then we have to think about the Fermi level. So usually the Fermi level lies in between the electron level and the hole level. So here this is the electron level. So this is also an electron level. So here we have a hole level. So the Fermi level should lies between the holes under the electron. So we have to construct the Fermi level here. So initially when a T is equal to 0 Kelvin, the Fermi level lies in between the donor energy level and the conduction level. When we started increasing the temperature over this n-type semiconductor, then automatically what happens, the Fermi level will falls down and it reaches the center of the medium. So we can conclude that by increasing the temperature, the extrinsic semiconducting material, that is a impure semiconducting material, they convert into the intrinsic semiconducting material, pure semiconducting material. When the temperature increases, when temperature reaches the maximum, so then all the electrons in the just valency state or in the donor energy level will goes to the conduction band. When the electrons completely reaches the conduction band, then we can see here the whole concentrations are more. Here also the whole concentrations are the more. So these are two level when they are equal, whole level. When this level is an electron level, then the Fermi level which located here will automatically drops down and it reaches the center. Thus, the extrinsic semiconducting material converts into the intrinsic semiconducting material when it reaches the maximum temperature. So that's all about the just semiconductors. We are having another one semiconducting material from the extrinsic semiconductor that we will see later. Thank you.